The open ocean is divided into sections based on depth. The topmost is the epipelagic zone, which is at a depth of less than 200 meters. Then comes the mesopelagic at a depth of 200 to 1,000 meters. Then the bathypelagic at 1,000 to 4,000 meters. And the abyssopelagic at 4,000 to 6,000 meters. There's also the hadalpelagic at more than 6,000 meters deep, which is basically only in trenches. In coastal waters, light can only penetrate to a depth of about 40 meters. In the open ocean, that is not the case. It can penetrate to a depth of up to 200 meters. At that depth, only 1% of light makes it through the water. As you can see with this graph, the light penetration is much deeper in the open ocean. The food chain in the epipelagic zone is essentially sunlight and nutrients are consumed by phytoplankton, which are then consumed by zooplankton, which are then consumed by fish, which are then consumed by larger animals like sharks, birds, turtles, seals, etc. In the mesopelagic zone, most creatures actually get their food from the epipelagic zone, but at night. Although some, like seals and sharks, actually go down into the mesopelagic to get their food. There are also oarfish in the mesopelagic zone, which I'm not even going to try to pretend to you that this isn't a sea serpent, because yep, it's a sea serpent. In the bathyal zone, almost no creatures that live in the epipelagic or surface can actually reach these depths because the pressure is just too high. So there is little to no contact with the surface. The abyssal zone is where the sea floor is most of the time. Most of the ocean floor is found in the abyssal zone, where it is called abyssal plains. Much of those abyssal plains are covered in manganese nodules, which can store energy and release it, creating hydrogen and oxygen bubbles if a voltage of 1.5 volts is overcome. At this depth, hydrothermal vents are oases. They feed microorganisms which are then eaten by larger creatures, creating its own food chain. At these depths, you will also find whale falls. When a whale dies, its body sinks to the ocean floor, producing an entire ecosystem which evolves and changes until the food source is exhausted. Oh, and these guys are also found there.
No way of knowing exactly what their final form could look like. For all we know, this could be Junior, and we just haven't seen Mama Big Fin yet.
I would go into more depth, pun intended, about the Hadal zone, but we actually just don't know that much about it. Because submarines are very expensive, especially the ones that can survive those crushing depths. Also, we have barely mapped 10% of the ocean floor. The rest is mapped using very imprecise methods with only 5 kilometers of resolution per pixel. What that means is that there could be places deeper than the Mariana Trench that we don't know about. There could just be, I don't know, a hole somewhere that goes like 10-20 kilometers down. We just don't know. We routinely discover new species that are way bigger than what we thought was possible given how much food there is down there. And we just keep finding more, and who knows what could be down there. Honestly, the deep ocean is a completely different dimension to the upper layers of the ocean. They have no contact with the rest of the climate system of the Earth. They have no contact with pretty much all geological processes apart from deep ocean ones. They don't know that climate change is happening at this rate. They don't know that the Ice Age happened. They don't know pretty much anything about the surface world. They don't know what sunlight is. They don't know what light is, except for the bioluminescence.